Now, one topic I haven't covered on this channel surrounding the Essex boys' murders is the mysterious and quite frankly bizarre telephone call in which a man claimed to have been offered £30,000 to take out Tucker, Tate and Rolfe. In this video, I'll narrate for you the call in question, which was received by a journalist just 72 hours after the bodies were discovered. Take a listen to the following. Okay, so the following is a police printout and transcript of a tape-recorded interview with an anonymous caller, and it states the following here. Last night, anonymous male rang News of the World, said he'd been offered £30,000 to kill Tucker and Tate. Rolfe was only killed because he was with them 2 weeks ago. The police have been to his relatives twice already, and so now he's 100 miles away from London. The rendezvous for the murder was arranged by Wally Nichols from Canning Town. Frank Warren puts up the money for their drug deals. He knows that the victims had upset the Tibbs family. The tape from the answer machine is with Fitzmaurice. Arrangements made to collect it AM 11/12/95 from Fitzmaurice. Transcript of tape reference interview of Anonymous. So here we go. The reporter says, "So what do you know?" He replies, "Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to name names or anything." "No." "Well, I was offered the contract to kill the three fellas, or two of them." "Yeah, right." "Hello? Say that again. You were offered the contract to do what?" "To kill two of them." "Yeah, which two?" "You're not taping this. Are you sure?" No. Are you sure?" "Yeah, if we tape it, you normally hear a beep beep on the line. But what can you tell us about it? Why were they killed?" "It's not over that Leah Betts, that's one thing I'll tell you." "Yeah, what is it about?" "It's the biggest gang war going on, mate, since the Krays ran London. The Krays and the Richardsons. They weren't top-notch geezers. Tucker was a bit top-notch." "Yeah, Tate was one of his henchmen, but Rolfe's a nothing. He's a nobody." "Tucker was, yeah. I've heard that they've double-crossed somebody on a drugs deal, and that's why they were killed." "Bollocks, mate." "What was the truth?" "Well, how you heard that then? You know what I mean?" "One of our snouts, has told us that." "But you've probably had 100 stories." "Yeah. What was it about then?" "It's all about who's going to run what, mate. You know what I mean? Work it out for yourself. Essex ain't too far from the east of London, is it? I mean, Rolfe's a nobody. Have you heard that already? You've heard that?" "Yeah. What, that he's a gopher?" "Yeah. He just got mixed up in it, mate. You know what I mean?" "What was he doing with them?" "He's just basically their gopher. Drives them about. He's a messenger boy. You know what I mean?" "Yeah. And the other two you say are top-notch?" "Tucker is, definitely. If I told you the names who are involved in it, I'll tell you the names, because you've got no proof unless I come up with it anyway." "Yeah. You know who's involved with them?" "Who?" "Frankie Warren." "In what way?" "The money man." "How can you prove that?" "I'll prove it." "Well, what do you know about it?" "I know a fair bit, but what I can prove is different, isn't it?" "Yeah, well go on, tell us what you know then. I don't know who you are." "It's all over territory and everything, mate." "So Warren is sort of providing the money for them to finance drugs deals, is it?" "Nigel Benn's involved as well." "What's Ben up to?" "Don't you know what Nigel Benn was doing before he was a boxer? All this bollocks." "What was he doing? Dealing in drugs?" "He's a leg breaker, mate. Into drugs and everything." "Is he?" "Tucker was his minder, wasn't he?" "Definitely. He wasn't so much his minder as his mate. They worked together." "And Warren was involved in Tucker and Tate?" "Warren's a money man. Nigel Benn's got money now, but he didn't always have, did he?" "Yeah, Warren's the money man." "Yeah, and he was in with Tucker and Tate, was he?" "Yeah, definitely. They were all in the same firm." "And who did they upset then?" "Sorry?" "And who did they upset?" "You know the fighting fireman?" "Yeah." "Who are we on about? You tell me." "Old, what's his name? Give me his initials, I'll tell you his name." "Tell me, go on." I can't think of his name. I know the bloke, the former champion boxer. Basildon, the one who shot Frank Warren." "Yeah, that's right, yeah. All mixed up with that as well, mate." "So what's he got to do with it?" "The different firms, mate. That's what it's all over." "And who's in the other firm then?" "Jimmy Tibbs." "Yeah? Tibbs?" "Yeah. The boxing trainer, whose family took over the East End of London after the Krays got locked up. That's Tibbs, is it? Yeah. Who else? There was somebody with the initials BB. Who you on about? I think you're onto the wrong track, mate. Yeah, okay. Barry Earn's mixed up in it as well. Do you want to meet one of our blokes? Tell him what you know. Well, I've had it on me toes at the moment, mate, I'll tell you. I'm nowhere near the bloody place like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you say you were offered the contract. I was offered the contract, I didn't want to get involved. Where had they been? What had happened that night? Do you know? Sorry? What had happened the night that they were killed? Well, someone had arranged a meet. A bloke called Nichols from Canning Town in East London arranged a meeting. Wally Nichols. He used to be an enemy of the Tibbs, mate. I'll tell you. You check up on your history for the last 15 years and you'll know it's been going on for a long while. He was an enemy of the Tibbs? Yeah. Nichols was? Yeah. So he arranged a meeting with these three? Yeah. Where? Wherever they got done, mate. I'll tell you. Yeah. In Essex? Yeah. And they went there and what happened? Well, you know what happened. It's all over your paper. And is Warren in league with Tibbs? Work it out yourself. And Wally Nichols? Nichols and Tibbs are enemies. You check back to London history 25 years ago. They was blowing each other's cars up 25 years ago. I mean, how do I know you're not working with them? Well, I don't know who you are, do I? How do I know you're not tipping them off? How much did they offer you to kill all these blokes? 30 grand. Are you in that game now? Eh? Are you into that? Mate, I'm not going to say nothing that's going to incriminate myself. What I want is out of the country. It's a lot bigger than I am. And what's going to happen now? Mate, it's going to be like, God knows. It's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before, mate. It's going to go on and on and on now. I reckon in the next 3 months, there's going to be more killings than God knows what. Okay, what sort of drugs are they dealing in? Cocaine, everything. Ecstasy, everything. Everything, mate. Where there's money, they do it. Had they got money, this lot? Tate and Tucker? Yeah, not mega money, but as I say, they're henchmen, really. I mean, Tucker's a bit higher up than Tate, like, you know what I mean? Tate's a div without brains, really. Like, know what I mean? If Tate wants to break someone's legs, he'll do it, like. Know what I mean? He's really Tucker's minder. But Tucker's nowhere near the top. So why would Nichols want them dead then? They're enemies of the Tibbs, like. You know what I mean? Check your history, mate. If they're enemies of Tibbs and Nichols is an enemy of Tibbs, no. Nichols and Tibbs are enemies. Yeah, and they were in with Tibbs, were they? Is that what you're saying? Eh? That these three blokes were in with Tibbs? In a minute. Right, so you're saying Nichols arranged a meeting. I'll phone you back tomorrow, alright? Alright, do you want to leave us a number? Or somewhere we can contact? Well, I'm not going to leave you my number, am I? For fuck's sake. Have you got a mobile? No, I'm not giving you nothing, like. You know what I mean? When were you offered the contract? A week ago. And how did that come about? Was it in a pub or something? Or, mate, they don't just walk up. Do you think people just walk up and say, "Are you going to kill someone?" No. They know you, don't they? Yeah. And did they explain any of the background to you, or just say, "We want them dead," or what? Mate, we just had a conversation. You don't ask details. You take the money, you do the business. But when I knew who was involved in it, when I heard the names that they wanted done, I knew what it was all about. When Tucker's name was mentioned, I thought, fuck this, I ain't getting involved, like, you know what I mean? And these people today, the only reason I'm talking to people like yourself, I can't go to the old Bill, right? They've been round, they've knocked on 2 of my relations' doors today looking for me. I'm 100 miles away from London now. And why did you turn it down? Because I knew what was going to go on, mate. I ain't daft, you know what I mean? I knew it would come back. Yeah, so do you know who actually carried out the contract? Eh? Do you know who actually carried out the contract? Well, I don't, like, you know what I mean? I'll tell you another thing. I'll get hold of Frankie tonight and see where he is. And where do you think he is? He won't be where you want to find him. Do you think he's hiding? I'd be surprised if he's still alive, mate. You think he was responsible for this? I'm not saying he's responsible for it, but I'm saying, have you heard from him lately? Have you tried to get hold of him today? No, okay. Do you think he might have done it? Why would I say he's done it? You know him and Warren have had aggro with each other, don't you? Everybody knows that, don't they? Work it out, you know what I mean? He wouldn't have been the actual hitman, though, would he? It's been going on for years, mate, I tell you. Let's put it this way. If half the British boxing managers in this country won't have lives left if this all comes to... What about Warren? Wouldn't he be in some danger now? I'll definitely try and get hold of Frank Warren tonight, you know what I mean? If I get hold of Bert McCarthy tonight. Why? What's he up to? Well, just check. You're the reporter, like, you know what I mean? You're the next best thing to the old Bill for finding things out. Why don't you want to go to the police? I won't go to the old Bill, mate. I'm telling you, none of them will go to the old Bill. What about you? You don't trust them? Trust who? The old Bill. Do I? They've got old Bill and everything, mate. I tell you what, mate, there's going to be killings everywhere going on over this. What, coppers are involved? Listen, you want to meet me, right? I've got tape recorders and everything. I'll prove what I'm telling you, right? What's it worth? A lot of money. 100 grand? Could be, yeah. But I want out of the country as well, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where do you want to meet someone? Mate, I don't know who I can trust. That's the problem. Well, you can trust us. How do I know that? How do I know that you're not in there? And that could be pockets. Well, we wouldn't be, would we? We're in newspaper, we're not... There's an MP involved as well, Teddy Taylor. What's he up to? Well, it goes on deeper and deeper and deeper. I'll take 3 or 4 weeks to tell you everything. The MP for Southend? Yeah, right, that area. Is it all coming into place? How do I know you're telling the truth? How do you know I'm not? That's true. It's wild, innit? The whole lot of it's wild, innit? Why don't you meet one of our reporters? When? Tomorrow? Tomorrow morning? Where? Well, it would have to be a public place somewhere. Yeah, right and all, mate. I'd want to meet in a McDonald's or something, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. You say a place. Well, what town? You're 100 miles from London, aren't you? Anywhere within a 40-mile radius of London. What about McDonald's in Streatham? Streatham? Yeah. You tell me a place that you know, a McDonald's that you know on the A13. Between 9:30 and 10. Sorry? Between 9:30 and 10. Right, okay. What's your name? Eddie. And I'll see you in the morning, yeah? I won't be here after 9, that's the only thing. Who do I ask for then, in your absence? Ask for David or Greg. David or Greg, right, mate. Okay, make sure you call. Right. Okay, so on the face of it there, quite a fanciful call received by a journalist from the News of the World. Now, the first thing to mention is that this call was received just 72 hours after the bodies of Tucker, Tate and Rolfe were discovered. So naturally, we're talking about a time period here before the books, before the documentaries and films, before the more personal details surrounding Tucker, Tate and Rolfe became widespread public knowledge. However, this anonymous caller does mention some points of interest which could suggest he had some personal knowledge concerning Tucker, Tate and Rolfe and the murders. Now, I don't want this to be taken out of context. This could be a complete load of old tosh. Let's be honest. But what I did find quite interesting was the mention that Tucker, Tate and Rolfe were dealing in coke. And this comes back to the later learned official narrative, the story that was told in court during the trial of Jack Wombs and Michael Steele. And that was basically that Tucker, Tate and Rolfe were lured to the bottom of Workhouse Lane on the evening of December the 6th because they expected a plane to be coming in at some stage laden with cocaine. They were going to steal the product, make good their escape, and split the proceeds. But all 3 men, as they reached the bottom of Workhouse Lane, were shot dead. So that point regarding the cocaine later becomes part of the official narrative, if that makes sense. What's also interesting is that he mentions that police are somehow involved with those who killed Tucker, Tate and Rolfe. Now, many years later, in 2014, the highly sensitive internal report surrounding police corruption was leaked to the independent newspaper, Operation Tiberius. And in that report was the mention of a bent police officer. Now, this individual was caught on tape back in November 1995, so around about a month or so before Tucker, Tate and Rolfe were killed. where he offered the hand of friendship to a member of a London crime family by offering to take out the supplier of the ecstasy tablet that killed Leah Betts, i.e. Tony Tucker and his associates. Now, separate to this, mentioned in that telephone call with the News of the World is that Craig Rolfe was simply collateral damage. He was killed due to his attendance that night rather than being a prime target. Now, we know that this was mentioned in one of the early tips given to the police. Take a look at the following. So what we have here is a police printout from the 11th of the 12th, 95. So one day after that telephone call to the News of the World. Is there some connection here? Possibly, potentially, let's see. And it states the following. I've seen someone today who has made remarks re the shooting. It's only hearsay. Person who gave me info is blind. They got a taxi from Shenfield to Highwood Hospital, Brentwood, ordered from taxi rank. The driver of taxi said he knew people that had been shot, said it wasn't drugs related and that the young person shouldn't have been there. That was a mistake. I'm concerned RE come back on the taxi passengers as pickup was from their address. So as I say, there are some points raised during that telephone call which could suggest that this guy did have some knowledge concerning the murders or of Tucker, Tate and Rolfe. Or it could be that due to the immense press coverage that these murders received in the days following, did this guy simply pick up a few small details and concoct the entire story? Do let me know some of your own thoughts down in the comments section below. Now, if you found today's video to be helpful or informative, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button down below and subscribe to the channel for future content. As always, many thanks for joining me for this video. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Take care. Cheers.